Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and today we're talking about Harry Kane. It's been reported that Man City have offered Tottenham £100 million to sign the England captain and could even offer some players in exchange too. The likes of Aymeric, Laporte, Raheem, Sterling and Gabriel Jesus could be up for grabs as Man City look to complete a blockbuster signing that could make them even more unstoppable. But what would happen if the deal really happened? Well, using Football Manager 2021, let's find out. Using the editor, Harry Kane's big money move to the Etihad is on. On August 1st, the Tottenham forward will no longer belong to London and instead he's heading to Manchester. Pep Guardiola will pay £100 million for the privilege, and in return they'll also be sending Raheem, Sterling and Aymeric Laporte the other way. All three players have got 4-year deals at their new club, but just who will benefit the most from this blockbuster transfer? Let's find out. Right, here we are at the start of the simulation, the 27th of July 2020, and as you can see, Harry Kane is all set to join Manchester City. On the 1st of August, he's on his way. £100 million transfer to the biggest club in the country, the Premier League champions. That is where Harry Kane is heading, making their team even more unstoppable. Going the other way, Tottenham, they've done alright out of the deal. Obviously they're getting £100 million. They're also getting Aymeric Laporte and Raheem Sterling, two top class players, and they're going to get £100 million to spend in the summer transfer window. But who will benefit the most out of this deal? Surely with Harry Kane there, Man City can go for the Champions League this time. Surely they can go one further than just getting to the final. As for Tottenham, sure they've lost the goal scorer, but they've got a top class centre back, better than any of the options they've already got. And Raheem Sterling on one wing, Son Heung-min on the other. That is a pretty good combination for Spurs. But let's simulate a year into the future. Let's see what happens in Season 1. Right, here we are a year into the future, the 13th of June 2021. And Harry Kane and Manchester City have not won the Premier League title. They have came third, 5 points behind the winners, Liverpool. Harry Kane, though, the best player in the league with an average rating of 8.19. 15 Man of the Match awards. I mean, Man City, on the basis of this, have been brilliant, but not brilliant enough to win the league title ahead of Liverpool. As for Tottenham, they have came 5th, 3 points behind Man United, unable to get themselves in the Champions League. And of course, your friend and mine, Chris Wood, with the golden boot with 23 goals. But we're here to talk about Man City and Tottenham, and let's have a look at Harry Kane. 200 grand a week. Feels Kevin De Bruyne is a vital part of the team, and one day he would like to be the Manchester City captain. He's the number 12, which is not a great number for Harry Kane, but whatever. And to be honest, he hasn't scored as many goals as I would have expected. 32 Premier League appearances, and he only scored 11 goals. 7 assists, 15 Man of the Match awards, and an average rating of 8.19. Performances obviously absolutely brilliant. He got 2 goals in the Cup, 2 goals in the Champions League. But overall, only 15 goals. That is wildly disappointing in 48 appearances in total, 2 of which came off the bench. But to only get 11 Premier League goals, that's his worst tally since he's been a regular starter in the Premier League. I mean, there when he scored 3 goals in 10 appearances, that was towards the end of the season, he was only just getting in. But this season, 11 goals, his worst tally yet, and it hasn't even delivered a Premier League title for Man City. Have they won any other trophies? Has Harry Kane ended his trophy drought? Let's have a little look. So they didn't win the League Cup, they were beaten by Newcastle 2-1, but they have won the FA Cup. Harry Kane has finally won himself a trophy, and he did it at Arsenal's expense. Man City winning 2-1 in the final in a game where Harry Kane didn't even play. But I imagine he'd probably get himself a medal. He played in the semi-final, he'll have got a medal, that's fine. As for the Champions League, Man City were beaten 6-2 on aggregate by Atletico Madrid in the semi-finals. So in Season 1, Harry Kane, he's only scored 11 Premier League goals. Man City have came third, but he at least has won an FA Cup. As for Tottenham, let's have a look at them. They're on the lookout for a new manager, which is pretty much par for the course with Tottenham nowadays. They'll be looking for a new manager until the world ends. Let's have a look at their schedule, see if they've had any success. Obviously we know they haven't won the FA Cup. League Cup, they were beaten in the quarter-finals by Man United. Europa League, they made it to the quarter-finals where they were beaten by Real Sociedad. But how have the new men fared at Tottenham? pretty damn good, to be honest. Raheem Sterling, the best player at the club, getting 24 goals. 3 separate players scored more than 20 goals for Tottenham. Sterling, Son Heung-min and a reformed Dele Alli. Aymeric Laporte had a wonderful season as well, 7.55 average rating. So the two new men at Tottenham have been absolutely sensational. But it's only ended with them coming 5th. So Laporte and Sterling won't be playing in the Champions League. Tottenham will be looking for a new manager, so we'll see who they get next season. But after a year, I mean, the performances from the 3 players have been great, but I suppose Man City have won an FA Cup, which is great for Harry Kane, but for Man City, they're going to want more than that. 14 goals from Raheem Sterling, so he's been the top scorer out of the 3 players. I mean, obviously it wasn't going to be Laporte, but Raheem Sterling outscoring Harry Kane, which is pretty interesting, to be honest with you. But how will things change in year 2? So Man City have came 3rd, no Premier League title. Tottenham missed out on the Champions League, but what will happen in year 2? Let's find out. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to have a quick look at the transfers, see if Tottenham spent their £100 million. They didn't. They didn't sign anyone after Laporte and Sterling arrived, so maybe they'll spend it this summer. We will find out in the coming moments. Let's simulate another year into the future. Okay, here we are in year 2, the 12th of June 2022, and while Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling and probably Aymeric Laporte have had wonderful seasons yet again, none of them have got anything to shout about. Before we look at the table, let's look at the personal stats here. Harry Kane, the best player in the league, 8.25, shared the golden boot with Chris Wood, of course, after getting 21 goals, a much better tally. The second best player in the league, Raheem Sterling, 7.86 at Spurs. He got 13 assists and 10 man of the match awards. So Raheem Sterling having a great time at Tottenham after he's had a difficult year in reality at Man City, but at Tottenham he's having a great time. But yet again, they've only been good enough to finish 5th, 3 points behind Man United. And as for Man City, once again, they haven't won the title, 5 points behind Liverpool, and Harry Kane still isn't a Premier League winner. He's now the number 11, which is good. Average ratings increased, he's gone from 8.19 to 8.25. He scored 24 goals in all competitions, 9 more than he got in his first year. And Harry Kane so far is being proven to be worth the money. But is it delivering any more trophies? We know they haven't won the Premier League, but have they won any cups? Actually, already Harry Kane, after 2 seasons, is the Manchester City captain, which speaks volumes about his leadership, especially ahead of Kevin De Bruyne. But let's have a look at the cup competitions. They lost the Community Shield, which apparently matters to Pep Guardiola. League Cup, they were beaten in the 4th round by Leicester. FA Cup, beaten in the quarterfinals by Liverpool. And in the Champions League, they were beaten in the first knockout round by Bayern Munich. So for all, it was a great season on a personal level for Harry Kane. Domestically and in European competition, it's been pretty woeful for Man City. No trophies, and yet again they have failed to win the Premier League, only coming 2nd. But let's have a little look at Tottenham now. They've came 5th with 71 points, now managed by Marcelo Bielsa. Let's see how Raheem Sterling and Aymeric Laporte fit into that team. Obviously Laporte playing centre back alongside Eric Dyer. Raheem Sterling on one flank, Son Heung-min on the other, and Dele Alli playing through the middle. What a season Raheem Sterling has had. The best player at the club, 7.87 average rating, 21 goals and 20 assists in all competitions, 41 goal contributions in 51 appearances. Those are sensational numbers from Raheem Sterling. Let's have a little look at Laporte, because obviously we didn't really focus on him in the last season, but Laporte doing great as well. 2 wonderful seasons, 7.51, 7.56 respectively. But have Laporte and Sterling got themselves a trophy at Tottenham? Let's have a look. The League Cup, they were beaten in the 3rd round by Leicester, pretty disappointing. FA Cup beaten in the 4th round by Blackburn, also disappointing. As for the Europa League, beaten in the 2nd round by Hertha Berlin. So it's another season without a trophy for Sterling and Laporte. They were getting used to them at Man City, but at Tottenham, it's the status quo, and they can't even get into the Champions League. But after 2 seasons, Harry Kane playing brilliantly, Raheem Sterling playing brilliantly, Aymeric Laporte playing brilliantly, but in terms of what it's done for the clubs, it doesn't look like it's made too big a difference. We'll have a look at Tottenham, see if they spent the money that they got for Harry Kane. Go to the transfer history. £96 million spent, The biggest rival, Team Coop Miners from AZ Alkmaar, exciting centre midfielder. They signed Jack Harrison from Man City for £23 million. Livakovic coming from Dinamo Zagreb, top goalkeeper. And Wilmar Barrios, a holding midfielder. But it hasn't been a massive spend. You'd maybe expect them to spend that kind of money regardless without £100 million coming in. So Tottenham have still got a lot of money sitting in the bank. But so far, neither team's really had anything to shout about. What will Season 3 bring for Man City and Tottenham? Let's find out now. Right, here we are, the 18th of June 2023, Season 3 of the simulation. And it's all going a bit Pete Tong for Manchester City. They finished above Tottenham, but only just. Man City nowhere near the Premier League title. They have came 5th, only getting 69 points, meaning they won't be playing in the Champions League next season. They've only just finished above Tottenham. They both had a goal difference of 23. They both got 69 points, but it's Man City who came 5th, just ahead of Tottenham. Harry Kane still the best player in the league, but his average rating is slightly down. And Manchester City are now on the lookout for a new manager. Pep Guardiola sacked after only finishing 5th in the Premier League. I mean, to be honest, after a 5th place finish, I think it's kind of fair enough that Guardiola's got the sack. I'm going to assume they've had no luck elsewhere in the Cups. Beaten in the League Cup 3rd round by Brighton. FA Cup, they were beaten in the final by Arsenal 2-1 in a game where Harry Kane didn't even feature, and it was Arsenal with an 84th minute winner, Gabriel Martinelli, giving Arsenal the FA Cup and ensuring Man City had another season without a trophy. The quarterfinals of the Champions League was as far as they got. They were beaten by Liverpool. Let's have a look at how Harry Kane got on. Best player at the club, 7.94, just ahead of De Bruyne. He got 19 goals in all competitions, 11 assists, slightly down from the season before. He's had a new contract as well. He's now on £245,000 a week until 2026. But in total, he scored 19 goals, 14 of them coming in the Premier League, which is not a great tally for a man like Harry Kane. And next season, he won't even be playing in the Champions League. An appalling season for Manchester City. And they've only just finished above Tottenham. Let's have a look at how Tottenham have got on. They're still managed by Marcelo Bielsa. Son Heung-min now the captain. Aymeric Laporte promoted to vice-captain, which is good to see. The best player at the club, yet again, is Raheem Sterling. 19 goals. He's having a wonderful renaissance at Tottenham. I mean, it's kind of a renaissance. He was still doing great at Man City, but at Tottenham, he just seems to be a much bigger deal. I mean, look at those numbers. Absolutely fantastic for Raheem Sterling. As for Aymeric Laporte, things are going pretty much just as well. One of the top centre-backs in world football on Football Manager. Average rating slightly down to a 7.31, but for a centre-back, exceptional numbers. But have they won a trophy in a season where Harry Kane hasn't even come close? They were beaten in the League Cup straight away by Leeds, which was pretty appalling. FA Cup beaten by West Brom, also crap. And the Europa League, Tottenham made it to the final where they were beaten 4-1 by Chelsea. But Marcelo Bielsa's side, at least they made a cup final. Let's have a little look at the transfers, see what Tottenham have done. They only spent £19.25 million. The bigger rival was Jon Lukumi, or however you pronounce that, from Genk. Tottenham just not spending the £100 million they got for Harry Kane. Maybe it's because of the wages for Laporte and Sterling, they can't afford to do it. But either way, after 3 seasons, Tottenham haven't really kicked on, and if anything, Man City have gone backwards. But we are going to look at one more year. That'll be the 4 years these players all originally got at the start of the simulation. Let's do one more year. Surely things have got to come around for Harry Kane and Man City. £100 million has been spent. Surely this can't be a waste of time. Let's simulate a year into the future. Let's see what happens. Okay, here we are for the 4th and final season. We're going to look at the 16th of June 2024, and Harry Kane will be ending this experiment as a Premier League winner. At the 4th time of asking, Manchester City have done it. They have came top with 82 points, finishing 6 points clear of Liverpool, and Harry Kane back in the 8s, an average rating of 8.11. He hasn't won the Golden Boot. This time he's came 2nd behind Lautaro Martinez, also at Manchester City. So Harry Kane's got a pretty elite level strike partner at the Etihad. But Man City and Harry Kane have done it. As for Tottenham, they've only come 6th. They cannot get into the Champions League without Harry Kane. Even with Raheem Sterling and Aymeric Laporte, Spurs can't get in to Europe's elite competition. Marcelo Bielsa is still the manager. Let's have a look at the transfers, see if they've spent any big money. Finally, they've spent a fair wedge of cash, £166 million no less. But they've also brought in 191 million, so doesn't really matter. The big departure, Theo Miners, potentially rising to £62 million, so they haven't got rid of Sterling and Laporte, which is good. Big arrivals, they got Jota from Benfica, not Diogo Jota of course, Alvaro Fernandez from Huesca, and Diogo Dalot from Man United, which is a strange signing, but whatever. Let's have a look at the players. Ignore Jed Steer at the top, he only played once. Yet again, Raheem Sterling, the best player at the club. 22 goals from wide right. Dele Alli still the striker in the absence of Harry Kane, but Raheem Sterling on the flank, he's just been absolutely prolific every season for Tottenham. Let's have a little look at his numbers. First season, 24 goals, 21, 19 and 22. Those are exceptional seasons. Incredible numbers from Raheem Sterling at Tottenham. Let's have a look at Aymeric Laporte, see how his fourth season's gone. He's got slightly worse again. He's only played 19 times. Perhaps he's had an injury maybe, so let's have a little look. He fractured his leg, so that'll keep you out for a fair wedge of time. Even before that, he had a few injuries. He came back, got injured. It's been a disrupted season for Aymeric Laporte, so perhaps suggesting why Tottenham haven't been able to kick on in year 4 with Marcelo Bielsa as manager. Let's have a look at the schedule, see if they've won any cups. The League Cup, they've gone alright actually so far here. They've made it to the final, and they were beaten in the final by Arsenal. Tottenham, yet again, beaten in a cup final. And in the Europa League, this simulation has all boiled down to one game, and it has gone the way of Manchester City. Obviously, Man City didn't make it into the Champions League the season before. They were dumped into the Europa League, and they met Tottenham in the final, and it was Man City who came out on top. Aymeric Laporte, he played well in the final, 7.7. Raheem Sterling didn't. He only got a 6.2. Let's go straight to Man City, see how Harry Kane did in that final. But it's Harry Kane and Man City. They've won the Premier League and they have won the Europa League. Antonio Conte now the manager. Let's have a little look at the schedule, see if they've won anything else. Obviously we know they didn't win the League Cup because obviously that was Arsenal. FA Cup, they were beaten in the quarterfinals by Everton. But in the Europa League final at the Parc des Princes, it was Man City versus Tottenham. Lautaro Martinez got the only goal of the game, but Harry Kane was exceptional. One of Man City's best players on the day, a rating of 8.4, helping guide Man City to the Europa League and ensure Tottenham still haven't won a trophy. Their trophy drought continues. Meanwhile, Harry Kane at Man City is absolutely flying now. He's got a Premier League, he's got an FA Cup, he's got a Europa League. He's just got back in the 8, 18 goals in the Premier League, 24 in all competitions, which it's his joint best tally. And finally, things are coming up roses for Harry Kane and Manchester City. It's taken 4 years, but they have finally won the Premier League since signing Harry Kane. But they've won a European Cup, but it's not the one they're after. Even after spending £100 million, Man City still haven't been able to win the Champions League. As for Tottenham, they've done well in places. Sterling's played well, Laporte's played well, but they just cannot get back into the Champions League. So based on this, the deal hasn't, from personal levels for the players, they've done alright, but in the grand scheme of things for the club, hasn't really been worth it for either team. But at least Harry Kane's got a few medals now. Finally he can go home and not have an empty trophy cabinet. And that is the note we're going to leave things on. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And until next time, we will see you around.